educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. All investments involve risk. Do your own research. Manu Banner and Moneybag University are not licensed financial advisors, and the MBU Group is not responsible for any financial decisions you make. Any third-party content used falls under fair use for commentary and analysis. Always consult a licensed professional before making investment decisions. Grand Rising, MBU Family. The source is the reason for the profit every season. If you know, then you know. Let's talk about time. The one thing you can't buy back, but you can absolutely use to your advantage. The market is funny. It moves just like life. Fast when you're not paying attention, slow when you're waiting for something to happen. Ever notice that? When you're holding a position, every 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. But when you finally step out of a trade, the move you were waiting for happens instantly. That's not coincidence. That's the market testing your patience. And that's the part most traders fail. They run out of patience before they run out of potential. They chase cheap options with no time left on the clock because it looks like a shortcut. A $30 contract sounds like a steal. But what they don't realize is it's a setup, a perfectly crafted illusion designed to make you think you're winning when you're really feeding the machine. Those cheap contracts decay faster than your favorite ice cream on a hot day. They melt. You blink and the value's gone. That's theta decay doing what it does, punishing impatience. Family, hear me. Time isn't your enemy. It's your greatest weapon. Time gives you space. Time gives you recovery. Time gives you peace. When you hold trades with enough time, you're not reacting to manipulation. You're weathering it. You're giving yourself room to move through the noise, the headlines, the panic, and the politics. Think about it. Does anybody remember when Elon Musk called the president the P word? Stocks dipped, headlines exploded, people panicked, and within a week, everything was fine again. Or when Donald Trump slapped tariffs on half the world like Oprah giving away cars. You get a tariff. You get a tariff. Everybody gets a tariff. The market tanked. Traders sold off in fear. And a few weeks later, the same stocks they dumped were back higher. And just recently, he's back talking about tariffs on China again. And boom, futures dropped. CNBC started sweating. Twitter started screaming, crash incoming. Meanwhile, the disciplined ones just sat back sipping coffee thinking, we've seen this before. Because they have something the average trader doesn't. Time. Time gives you confidence. Time gives you control. See, short-term options are like microwave meals, fast, convenient, but they'll burn you if you're not careful. Long-term options, those are slow-cooked. Flavor builds, value compounds. Patience pays. That's why at MBU, we live by this structure. 3 contracts minimum. You set your sell limits at 10%, 20%, and 30%. Then you go live your life. That's right. Go outside, spend time with your family, touch grass, thank the source, and stop babysitting your trades like they can't walk. Because if you're constantly watching your positions every 5 minutes, that's not trading. That's anxiety management with charts. Your first contract at 10%, that's your confirmation. It says, I'm on the right path. Your second at 20%, that's your validation. It says, the setup was solid. Your third at 30%, that's your harvest. It says, I was disciplined enough to wait. Then you walk away. You don't need to catch 100% of the move. You just need to capture the consistent piece that fits your plan. That's the difference between gambling and growing. Now let's talk about time frames, because this is where your piece is built. Day trading, that's your sprint. Quick, focused, high energy. You're in and out within a week, but it's not for everybody. You've got to be locked in. One mistake and that's your day. Swing trading, that's your marathon. 3 to 6 months of controlled movement. You're giving your trade time to breathe, time to develop, time to overcome manipulation. Leap trading, that's where you find peace. 12 to 24 months out, you're not trading noise anymore. You're trading conviction. You're giving yourself room to think like an investor, not a gambler. When you buy time, you buy options, not contracts, but choices. You buy freedom. You buy sanity. And you realize that those small daily movements don't shake you anymore because your expiration date is far enough away to absorb it all. That's the power of time. It's like being on a ship. Short-term traders are in kayaks. Every wave feels like the end of the world. But leap traders, They're in cruise ships. Waves don't move them, they just keep sailing. That's what discipline looks like. That's what peace feels like. And that's why we don't chase green candles. We wait for three candle confirmation with a pullback, because the pullback is where the truth hides. The first candle gets your attention, the second one builds your confidence, the third one gives confirmation. Then the pullback comes in, and that's your test. If the setup holds, it's real. If it collapses, it was fake. But either way, you waited long enough to know the truth, and that's the whole point. Most traders don't lose because they're wrong. They lose because they're early. Wait for confirmation. Respect the pullback. The market will always whisper lies before it speaks truth. And family, if this is connecting with you right now, pause for 2 seconds. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop "Time is my friend" in the comments. Let's remind the world that patience is power. Now let's circle back to the hold zone, the most misunderstood part of the chart. That zone between support and resistance, that's not a dead zone. That's where the big money positions itself. That's where patience gets paid. You don't do anything in the hold zone because it's not about movement, it's about setup. Think of it like a slingshot. The longer it holds, the stronger the breakout when it comes. So don't panic when the market stalls. That's your signal to breathe, review, and plan. And when it finally breaks with confirmation, not just a wick, that's when you move with confidence. That's how pros trade. That's how MBU moves. We don't chase, we calculate. We don't panic, we prepare. And when we sell 10, 20%, 30%, we don't look back because the system works. That's the rhythm of peace. That's the flow of discipline. See, when you truly understand time, you stop asking, when will it move, and start saying, I'll be ready when it does. That shift changes everything. Time turns fear into faith. Time turns volatility into opportunity. Time turns panic into patience. And the longer you're in the game, the more you realize the real flex isn't making fast money. It's making consistent moves that let you live free. Because freedom, not fortune, is the real goal. And that's what we're building at MBU, systems that give you your life back. So stay disciplined, stay patient, stay peaceful. The source is the reason for the profit every season. Never forget that. Like and subscribe if this spoke to you today, and share it with someone who keeps rushing the process instead of mastering it. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. All investments involve risk. Do your own research. Manu Banner and the MBU Group are not licensed financial